Hey, good morning folks, David Hubbell here, and it's Saturday, October 15th, 2022, and it's time to do our weekly check on the Mirliton here in Mobile, Alabama. We lucked out this week and we finally got a couple hours of rain. Really wasn't much, but it was better than nothing. And I'm starting to see some male blooms, so let's go check out and see what's going on. Hey, do me a favor before we go check out the Mirliton vine. Please hit that subscribe button and click that bell to be alerted to all upcoming videos that come out. Thanks. So finally, after many weeks, we finally are starting to see what I've been hoping for. Buku male buds, or blooms I should say. I've been saying buds so long, it's been natural to say that instead of blooms. But this is what they look like. A cluster of male flowers, white petals. And you can see in the distance we also have a female. What prompted it, I don't really know. I think it's probably a combination of things. Finally, the timing. Looking through some old Facebook videos, I see even 6 years ago, I was just getting female flowers to start. So, could be obviously the conditions, the age of the plant. But we've had sustained cool mornings, mostly the last week and a half, and we finally got some rain, as mentioned in the beginning. It wasn't much. One day it was just like a sprinkling. And then the next day we actually had a good hour of heavy rain. But this morning it's 55 degrees out here, or it was. And I'm starting to see some really good progress. In fact, I've got a maturing Mirliton. This is really good news. And I know some of the other ones I had pollinated earlier are starting to show. So, as I mentioned, even though I was concerned a couple of weeks ago, I knew we had plenty of time. Now, somebody did point out to me that next week there's supposed to be a prediction of a upper 30s here in Mobile. I'm not overly concerned. You can see I'm underneath this big red oak, and I tend to end up with a lot of protection where I'm at. I also got fencing around either side. If I have to cover it, it's going to be quite a daunting task, as you can see. With all the coverage I got to go, and I really can't get up into my citrus trees. So I hope that our meteorologist friends, as they often are, may have predicted on the extreme end, and in reality maybe we'll still be in the 40s. And if that's the case, even though that is a little cold, I'm not too worried here. Let's go check out the rest of the vine. Once again, this is a really good sign. I can tell from the size that these have been pollinated, so that's good. And I'm starting to see the clusters of male flowers. So we are really back on track. Other than that cold weather next week, I don't believe we are in for any more rain or any other extreme conditions. So what I'll probably do after we look through this is I may grab one of those male flowers and show you how I've hand pollinated them before. A lot of people tend to use the paintbrush, but I've tried that, or I've tried Q-tips. But since if I have a lot of flowers, I'll end up just grabbing a male flower and bringing it to the female. We still have continued squirrel damage here, despite it being really close to my super soaker system. But as you can see, with an abundance of growth, they can kind of outpace these squirrels. In years past, part of the problem was that the squirrels got so much vegetation decimation early on that the vine actually wouldn't get much past this early point. So it really kind of retarded the growth of the whole system, or plant, sorry. Anyway, I think this has really helped deter them from being overly aggressive. Oh yeah, these are nicely coming along. You can see how it is compared to my finger, if it'll focus. This is very encouraging. You see we got a few more coming along nicely. My prediction is that for these, I'm thinking I probably have about 2 weeks out from picking them, which puts me right in the beginning of November. You can see a lot of my citrus is even starting to change in color. We haven't received much frost yet, or cool dates, or cooler dates enough to really affect the citrus, but hopefully in a couple of weeks after the Mirlitons have amply provided us with a lot of the bounty, then maybe temperatures will get such that by December I'll be picking some sweet navel oranges. All right, so as I said, I'm going to go ahead and try to demonstrate pollinating one of these. So first of all, if I can do this with the camera, I'm going to grab a male that's open, like this one here. So this will be the donator here. Let me go over here. And here will be the receiver. So hold on a second. All right, so simply what I've done is I've peeled back a few of the petals, as you can see, just to make it easier. I try to get up in there and just put the pollen from one flower to the next. And that's essentially what you're doing with the paintbrush method or Q-tip method. Then I'll just take the male flower and I'll continue on to some others. So maybe we can see if we can check this back in a couple of weeks. But that's what I've done with a lot of the ones you've already seen. So I'll go ahead and see how many more I can get and give you a rough idea. Man, just came upon this and it is really encouraging. Check that out. I might be a week and a half, 2 weeks away on this one. Man, this is a really encouraging sign. All right, so to recap, I ended up going through and hand pollinating about 17 female flowers with 3 or 4 male flowers. So we'll see what happens. The good news, like I said, so to recap last week, what I did is I had watered it and fertilized it and given it some rabbit manure. Didn't really do a whole lot as far as the trying to get rid of bugs. As far as spray, it just was a busy week as always. But this week I think what I'll do, so as I mentioned, I already hand pollinated because I had that option. I will probably make sure I give it a good watering again. I watered underneath the vine last week because the citrus was looking bad too. Like I said, even though I got an hour's worth of rain, probably still not enough. So I will probably give it another good watering this weekend. Maybe a little more bloom boost, we'll see. Doesn't seem to be hurting, as I mentioned. And I'll keep an eye out for that frost. As Dr. Hill always points out, the other option that you have is if you have a sprinkler system, is you can get your sprinkler system wetting the vine, which is probably give you the greatest coverage, and you just have to leave it on all night. That temperature, water temperature, will be warmer than the frost or freezing temperatures, and it's been effectively done. Our friend Renee in New Orleans has done it, and even though there's probably some damage you get, it's still better than losing your whole vine, or you could always cover what you can. So I'm hoping that those early predictions are going to be off and they're going to come up in temperature over the next course of the week, and I won't have to worry about it until late November. Anyway, that's it for now. So there you go, Mirliton Nation. There's some hope on the horizon there. So if you like this video, please share it with all your Mirliton loving friends. Also, do us a favor and check out Dr. Lance Hill's Mirliton.org website, mirliton.org, as well as our Facebook page. Also, make sure you've subscribed to the channel to be updated to all upcoming videos, and we'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.